it was the absent narratives that were screaming at me. You and yours are not important, aren't relevant, don't matter. Because if we were important, relevant, or mattered, somebody would have said something in 13 years of a K-12 education. And they rarely did. 87% of the education standards for K-12 that mention Native anything are stories from before 1900, reinforcing the concept that Natives are what happened before rather than what's happening right now. You know? So just continuing this erasure narrative. And by the way, when people feel assaulted, what happens? You get kind of predictable responses: fight, flight, freeze, fawn. And so when you look at the data sets, you're like, how come we have truancy problems with some of these students? And I'm thinking, flight. How come we have discipline problems with these students? And I'm thinking, fight. How come these ones are spaced out, zoned out, and disengaged? And those ones just want to hang out at the Indian Ed office. And I'm thinking, freeze, fawn. Of course, we're humans. We're complex. Nothing's quite so simple, and we always want it simple. There's just one thing. And usually it's a lot of things. But that's part of what's going wrong. And by the way, university systems too, if the majority of the humans in the United States of America under the age of 18 are people of color, they have to build support systems and academic offerings that are interesting to all the students. And the ones that do tend to do better. And the ones that hang on to how we always used to do things tend to wither. So what are we going to do? Also, I just want to remind you, like, regardless of your background and beliefs, because we are diverse, and we always will be, there are a couple of other takeaways. Number one, we just have to figure out how to get along. We must figure out how to get along. There's no way to change the diversity. It will only grow. And by the way, lots of people of all kinds of backgrounds are falling in love and making babies. And, you know, if you're against diversity, you're probably against your own grandchildren and things like that. We have to figure out how to get along. Even like when you look at the most ugly chapters of humans refusing to get along and trying to like cleanse their country, like the Nazi Holocaust, they tried to kill all the Jews. And even when they had one of the wealthiest, most organized, most militarized countries on planet Earth exerting all of their resources to do that, they could not do that. And at the time, there were 70 million people in Germany. They got 50 million humans on planet Earth killed. There are 330 million people in the United States of America. Not only is there no humane way to do it, there is no practical way to get rid of the diversity. It is here to stay. And there's a paradox, too, which is that the more diverse we become, the more homogeneous we will end up being. You know what I mean by that? Like, as we become more diverse, eventually, we're all going to like start making friends with each other and making babies with each other and doing things like that. And we will learn from and cross-pollinate and look at the music you listen to. It's very difficult to find a musical tradition that is not deeply influenced by people from many backgrounds. It is very difficult to find a literary tradition that is not deeply influenced by people from many backgrounds. The cultural sharing and exchange and even mingling and merging, it's already well underway. All these diverse countries out there, and we are often watching many of the same movies. And the structures for many things in our very different cultures are often very similar. So there is this paradox that the diversity is here to stay, and in the long run, it will lead us to a greater homogeneity. That all this fighting over just us instead of justice is very short-sighted and probably very ineffective.